Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a review and a demo using the Natasha Denona Star Palette. I received this a few weeks ago. I ordered mine from beautylish.com. They do have a payment plan, which I took advantage of because I love makeup. I'm a makeup artist. I am a makeup junkie. I'm a makeup collector. So typically something like a really expensive makeup palette is geared towards someone like me. Most rational people are not going to spend the kind of money that you have to spend on a Natasha Denona palette if you're like just getting into makeup. I think there's a finite amount of people that would ever consider this, and I want to talk to you guys directly. In my mind, I wanted to pick the Star palette up over one of the bigger ones that she came out with initially. I think there's a brown green one and a purple blue one. I figured I'd go with the smaller one just to see if I like the formula before I make the investment in the larger one. This palette does retail for, drumroll please, $170. That's right, 170 big American boffos. Like, I know, okay, I know it sounds absolutely ridiculous, which is why I felt I needed to do a targeted review. So as far as the Natasha Denona eyeshadow palettes are concerned, everyone talks a lot about her shimmers, how they're just otherworldly, shiny, glittery, pigmented, easy to work with, buttery. This is what everybody else is saying. Wait, I'll tell you what I think in a minute. I've heard the same thing about the mattes. And then I guess another big draw to this palette is when you break down the price, like per shadow, it ends up being a pretty good deal. I believe this is like double the size of a Makeup Geek shadow, and per shadow, it's about $9. I think that was what the breakdown was. I watched some videos on this trying to collect some intel, and I think I kept hearing that the eyeshadow pans themselves hold a crap ton of shadow in them, so it'll pretty much last forever. Honestly, what really drew me to this palette, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know these two colors in particular were the deal sealers for me. I'll tell you right now, if that is why you want this palette, don't get it for that. I find these two colors, and you'll see in the demo, I'll really explain and show you, these two colors are extremely difficult to work with, especially this purple shade called Electra. I find it almost useless. I mean, in my mind, maybe by itself it would be okay, but when you try to pair these together, it cannot build up on top. I mean, in my opinion, it just doesn't. This is my Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, and you can tell once again these similar kinds of shades. Venetian Red and Love Letter, very pigmented, very smooth, very creamy, very blendable. I love them. Really unfortunate to me, this is the Natasha Denona and this is Anastasia Beverly Hills. I just stuck my fingers in there, one swipe went over. I mean, we all know that eyeshadows perform differently on your hands, on your fingers, than they do on your eyes with a brush, but I feel like this is a pretty accurate representation of how I feel like those two colors in particular performed on my eyes. So the other shades I've used are these more transition shades. They're okay. And then I've also used these two browns, also okay. In terms of the shimmer shadows in here, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 truly shimmery shades, and there's a few more satin ones. I'm really not that impressed with the shimmers either. I mean, they're just okay. I have different feelings if I paid like $9 for these ginormous shadows and then I just had the shades that I actually wanted, instead of having to pay for it all in one palette, and then there's colors that I don't even really need, and then a lot of the ones that I do want don't perform the way I wish they did, and then the shimmers themselves are just okay. I mean, MAC Press Pigment, Makeup Geek Foil Dye Shadows, the Balms Loose Shadows, I think are all kind of similar. I wouldn't say better, but similar. I guess if I had to say whether I would recommend this or not, I would say it really depends on who wants to buy it. Serious makeup collector, if money is no object, if you are a makeup artist or something like that, maybe I could see the merit to owning something like this. But for the degular, you know, average person who is buying makeup from a consumer standpoint, I don't see really the value in having something like this. And I honestly I can't even tell you, unfortunately, if my opinion is based off of the fact that it is such an expensive palette. I mean, if this palette was $80 even just $100, I would probably have a different opinion of it. But the fact that it's almost $200 and the hype is so ginormous around it, I feel like it's almost impossible to live up to. It must suck to have a makeup brand in this day and age for that reason, because like I said before, everyone that I researched or anyone that I saw talk about Natasha Denona eyeshadows, it was just, everything is so great. The shadows are beautiful. They're buttery. They're pigmented. Da 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 da. And I'm really underwhelmed, to be perfectly honest. I find a lot of these shadows have a crap ton of fallout, which I normally don't care about because I understand, you know, I do my eyes first all the time, so it's not a big deal for me to have fallout, but it's almost, especially this one, has got almost so much fallout that it can't even, there's no pigment with it. It's just a chunky glitter that falls everywhere and you get little to no shine with it. You can really, as far as I know and as far as I've experienced, this is only good to layer with other things. So I wish there was a black in it. I wish there was a brow bone highlight in it. I mean, hopefully my opinion changes. I pray it changes because I paid for this thing. But yeah, if I had to say, or on a scale of 1 to 10 where I'd put this, I'd put it at a 5. That's just my opinion. So let's just get into the demo. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please thumbs up if you do enjoy it. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. Subscribe if you have not. I hope you're having a wonderful holiday season, and I'll catch you in the next one. Alright guys, so let's just get started. I've done all of my complexion because this video is not about that. It's just about the eyeshadow palette and my thoughts on it. I'm just going to take some of my Kat Von D translucent locket powder. I recently picked this up. One thing with this powder you may or may not like is that it definitely does have like a flying situation because it is so finely milled and it is so fluffy. It does not bother me, but if you see kind of like a snowflake situation happening all over the screen, that is why. I'm actually going to try something different today. I'm not going to set my eyelid with powder like I normally do. Last time I used these, I was really disappointed. So I'm gonna try it a different way. I almost think this video might be better than a first impressions video now because I feel like, I don't know, I've had time to think about it. I can try it a different way, see if my mind changes with any of this, but I don't know, man. I'm going to take the colors Flesh and Vega, and I'm gonna mix these together on a large fluffy brush and start working this in my upper crease and then my outer corner. This look is not extremely groundbreaking or new for me. It's very similar to something I've created before, which I kind of thought made it an ideal look to do with this palette, simply because I've done this type of look so many times with so many different brands, so many different types of colors that I know what I expect, and it's kind of interesting to see if this holds up. So yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't watch this video if you're trying to learn some awesome new looks. If you want to see something more in depth along these lines, then I would check out any of my other videos. But I'm going to take this on a Smith 232 brush, tap it off. It's performing a little bit better already than last time because, I don't know if you guys can see, last time I felt like I got no color payoff at all when I did my transition color. I'm just working this up into the lid. Transition colors in. Like I said, I have a better payoff now than I did the first time, so that's already pretty good in terms of like what I went through last time. I'm gonna go in with another Smith brush. This is the 235, which is just, oh, so beautiful. I'm gonna take the color Phoenix, which is the red color, the red burgundy maroon color. You guys know that it's the color 1000% that I'm always gonna gravitate towards in any palette. I basically have an entire playlist on my channel with nothing but these colored looks. So if you want to see like a million of them, check my playlist. Tap tap, it's on my brush. It's already not giving me good feels, but we'll see. I'm gonna put it in the outer corner. See what I mean? All right, already I can tell you. Reds, purples are a little bit more difficult to formulate with any, I mean, I've heard the same thing with like tattoo ink. It's really hard to get a good red or purple tattoo ink even. So like, why would eyeshadow be exempt from that? I've heard that for years, that it's the hardest to formulate. But the problem is there's just so many that I have and that I love that I just can't buy that's acceptable in this $170 palette. Like, you should have figured this out, especially if you're someone like me and you would have bought this palette for this color. I'm getting really sassy with this because it's super expensive, dude. Like, it's okay. It's just okay. I feel like it's really choppy. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It just is. So in the outer crease, lower lash line, like lower crease area, I'm gonna go in with the color Electra. It is a purpley plum color. I'm just gonna take this on my MAC 221 and I'm gonna put this in the lower corner like this, like I pretty much do in every video. We're gonna see how these layer. I already know how they layer, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So I don't even know if you can tell that I put the purple in the outer corner. Like, just looking at it on my finger, it's just, I have so many purples from inexpensive to $20 Makeup Forever prices that just perform just a lot better, you know? This is my opinion, and my opinion only. So I'm gonna take the earth color from the palette. It's like the darkest brown, and there's no black in this palette, which is one thing I don't like about it too. I'm just gonna take this brown color on a pencil brush and just start working this even lower in that outer corner. The brown's doing okay. Just okay. I'm gonna go ahead and dust this cooking powder off and do my lash line. I'm just gonna breeze through that because I don't feel like, actually I know the shadows don't perform any better on my lash line than they do my top lid. In fact, I know they kind of perform worse for some reason. So just gonna zip through that until we get to like the lid and start talking about the shimmers in the palette, which we'll see. So these absolutely have quite a bit of fallout in terms of the shimmers. Like, these two especially, like, they're really chunky. I really don't, no, it's not that one. It's this one. So this one and this one, like, is extremely chunky. I don't know if you guys can see just how much is on my finger. It's like stacked up. There's so much. And I don't even feel like it's as shimmery as it should be for that at all. I don't understand. But I would advise you, no matter which of the shimmers you decide to go with, to definitely use some sort of glitter glue to adhere them to your lid. That's like, I don't see how they could really work any other way. So what I guess I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, where'd it go? I'm gonna take this shade right here, and that one is called Bellatrix. And I'm gonna mix a little bit of this lighter shade into it if it's not as bright as I want it to be. Before I do that, I will put some glitter glue on the mobile part of my lid that I'm going to lay the glittery color onto. To do that, I'm just gonna take a MAC 2 something, the number is completely rubbed off. And we're just gonna put this right here in the tear duct. Don't get your brush too wet, like you really don't want to use too much of this stuff. And I'm just gonna put this where I want my shimmer to go. I'm gonna wet my brush a little bit, and then I'm gonna go in with the Bellatrix color. Okay, so this is definitely performing a little bit better than I remember it performing the first time I used it, which is nice because I was really disappointed in the shimmer the first time I used it. Like really disappointed, almost to the point where I like wanted to throw the palette across the room because I was like, this is what people buy this palette for, or any of her shadows for, is for the shimmer. So it's a lot better than I remember it being. I don't know what I did different, but I'm really impressed now. I'm gonna take a little bit of the white shimmery shade with my brush. There's not a whole lot even being able to stay on my brush. I cannot grip onto it, it's so chunky. And I'm gonna focus this just in the tear duct a little bit, like so. Okay, right now, I really like this look. Off camera, I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara and my eyeliner, and I'll show you my false lashes when I get back. All right, guys, that is the end of my Natasha Denona review and demo. I hope that you found this video helpful in some way and it helped you with making your decision on purchasing this palette. Please let me know your experience with it as well. This is just my opinion. That is the only thing I can go off. We all have our own preferences about what we enjoy in our products. I hope you guys are having an amazing holiday season so far. Please thumbs up the video if you enjoy it. Check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms. Subscribe if you have not, and I will check you in the next one. Love you more than you will ever know. Bye!